Hey everybody, welcome back. Today's a special day. I'm actually doing this after work because I didn't get it done this morning, and I've got to do it today. And Purdy is yelling at me because it's time for bed, not time for painting. um, at any rate, today is April 26th, 2022. And I have officially been doing acrylic pouring for 2 years. My first video, although the first video is not the very first painting I did because I messed up the recording of that, it is the second one that I did. They were both done the same day. So today is my 2-year anniversary, and I thought what would be cool is to do a new painting with the same colors and same technique that I tried the very first time, or second time, but the first video that I have, which I will connect in the description below. I think I can attach it at the end as well in one of the corners, so I will do that. But here is what we're going to be trying to replicate. It was done on a canvas panel, and I learned that pouring is not the best thing to do on panels. So there you can see. Not terrible. Actually, it is terrible. But you can see rings. So that's the good thing. This right here is what I learned. You cannot stack acrylic pouring things on top of them unless they're varnished. This is not varnished, and neither were any of the other panels, because they also stretched and pulled the canvas like that. So I didn't varnish them, and even 2 years later they stick to each other, which causes this. So things that I learned along the way. But if I bring it in close, you can see those rings. So same colors. Let's see if we can do any better. I'm going to get this out of the way so I don't ruin it further. I even used Olga's, I'm going to do an ASMR video of just pulling up paint off the vinyl. But I even used Olga's calculator that she has on her website, and I'll put that in the link also in case you have not heard of it. You can put in the dimensions of your canvas, including the depth of the sides, and it'll give you about how much paint you need for the average paint pour. Of course, it's going to vary depending on the technique that you use, but we should get all of the canvas covered. So original colors were all Artist Loft, Sap Green, Cerulean Blue, Light Magenta, and then Copper. So I've got them all ready. I'm going to put them in my silicone cup. I'm going to do 2 layers of the colors. I know, isn't it horrible? You're just going to have to wait. So I put in a little bit of copper. Now I'm doing sap green. Let's do light magenta. The magenta is sinking a bit. Cerulean blue. More copper. Sap green. Light magenta. And I'm going to top it off with copper just because there's only a little bit left. And actually, you know what? I have a container I can save it in. I forgot that I got these little things that I can store leftover in, so I don't have to worry about racing to finish things up. It's only a little bit in that container, but I got the containers big enough for when I have bigger doses of paint. It seals tight and we're good. All right, so this is what my cup looks like. Let's go ahead and pour. A lot of sap green. I'm starting to feel like I haven't learned anything. I had over 8 ounces in the cup, so I should have more than enough to get the sides covered. It's a lot of green. We went from mostly green to mostly pink. We'll have to see how that dries. The edges are thinning really bad, even though I spritzed the back to to tighten up the canvas. It's still showing canvas through on the edges right here. And even when I put more paint on top, like that, within a minute, canvas pops back through. So I think we're going to leave it at that. I will go ahead and pull a stick so we can stop the dripping. And then we will have you guys come in for a closer look. Let's bring you all in for a closer look. Okay, so I torched it real quick as well. That's what caused the little bubbles there on the green. We definitely have some rings. Purdy is mad. Definitely have pink. There's a lot of pink, especially after all that green that we had. I was afraid it was going to be too much green. There you can see really well where the canvas is popping through. So I don't think that's going to dry well, but we'll let it dry, see what happens. You can see it on that edge as well. There's the middle. I think the middle is most interesting. I like the stripes in there. You can't really see the cerulean blue. There's a little bit right there, but that's about all that we got of it. It got swallowed up. So the question is, in 2 years, did I learn anything? All right, everybody. We are back because I was like, you know what? I cannot leave my 2-year anniversary painting that way. It was driving me nuts. Part of what occurred to me, because I didn't do a drip test or anything, which you should do before doing each painting and blah, 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 blah. I know at least 2 of the paints were my old ratio, which were much thinner than my new ratio that I've been doing. So I think that was part of my problem with this pour and why it didn't turn out the way I had hoped. So I was down to the end of all of those paints, so I did up the new mixtures with my ratio I've been doing. And so all of the paints are now the same ratio. There might still be a little bit difference in consistency, but at least it's going to be a lot better. And I've re-poured it. This is still a little bit wet. It's dry on the edges. I don't know if you can see the sheen. It's dry on the edges though. But we're going to go ahead and pour this. It is the new mixture and we're just below 8 ounces. I see some bubbles. Let me go ahead and pop them. That's not going to get the bubbles that are down in the mix, but that'll get the ones that are on top. So here we go with the new pour. Hopefully this is better and more of what I pictured and better represents a 2-year anniversary painting one day later. Already a lot better. I don't know where my copper is. And my ring is a little jiggly. It's going off the edge over here. There's my copper. A little bit of a travel to it. Okay, a lot better so far. Let's see how it turns out as we tilt. Pop all those bubbles that are in there. All right. Just trying to get some of the extra paint off now. Since it's a second layer, I don't want it to crack too much, although the fact that the paint underneath is a bit thin should help. It's still hazed a little bit, but it already looks much better. And keep in mind, this is not the best color combination either. These were just the first colors I did when I first picked things out. Hazy, but the rings are much better. If I had left it thick and didn't stretch it as much, it wouldn't have gotten as hazy. But I still like it much better. This is a better representation of a 2-year anniversary. All right. I'm going to, because I've got some bubbles on the sides that I can see, I'm going to wash my hands off real quick and then torch it, and then I'll bring you guys in for a closer look. One of the cats is finally playing with the little ball that's in the base of the cat scratch post. So if you hear a weird noise, that's what it is. It's JoJo, actually. All right, let's bring it in. Like I said, it's a bit hazy, and that's because I stretched it so much. But we still have some really nice rings, even with all the haze. And some of the colors are quite vibrant. And because the paint is thicker, it's not showing the canvas there on the edge. We got some pretty purples in there with the mixing of the colors. There's the center. So even though it's colors that you wouldn't think would go together, they're not too bad. Here's a dry picture. Thank you all for celebrating my 2-year anniversary with me, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.